Shanti Shanti.
Because whatever are there in the thoughts, they are getting expressed as our actions. So you will not be able to make your actions sattvika or purified unless the mind is purified, unless the thoughts are purified. So the thoughts, the bhava, the whatever mindset we have, all those have to be purified. And as the mindset where from the thoughts are coming, see, when I say mindset, it means the basic mind, the structure of the mind, from where the thoughts are radiations coming out. They are just like radiation. You have a red hot iron ball from which red radiations are coming out. You take the ball to blue hot, you make it further raise the temperature. Then the blue radiations come out. So whatever is the basic material, constituent material, according to that, the radiations will take place. So the mindset, when I say, when the mindset becomes pure, from that only pure thoughts will come. We don't have to, and pure thoughts will get transformed into pure actions. So we don't have to always correct our actions. Oh, today I misbehaved, tomorrow I will see that I don't behave in that manner. It will not work unless the causal level we incorporate the correction. Any correction has to be incorporated in a causal level, then the effect will be all right. And even if you try the thoughts again will come, the bad thoughts will come, the selfish thoughts will come unless you treat it in the causal level. What is the causal level? The mindset, the emotions, the bhava, we call it in Sanskrit bhava. That means the very basic structure, the constituent of the mind has to be purified. Then we don't have to worry about thoughts also. Thoughts will come, good thoughts only will come, and those thoughts will get expressed as good actions. We don't have to worry about any action, any thought at all. And you will not like to meditate also. Because why do you want to meditate and getting into a peaceful state? Because you are not happy with the thoughts. With our normal mindset, we are not happy. We are not able to enjoy that mindset. That is why we want to go to a thought-free state where we enjoy. You get the point? The thoughts are some positive vibrations that are not enjoyable. That is why you are wanting to get to a thought-free state. But when the thoughts become very comfortable, very enjoyable, expanding, etc., then will you like to have a thought-free state, zero state? Or would you like to have a positive state? From the negative, you want to go to the zero. But from the positive, you don't feel like going to the zero at all. That itself will be more blessedness. You will always have the prasada. So, unless we transform our mindset by a whole time, 24 hours pursuit, in which all our parts of the being, aspects of the being are transformed, we will not be able to attain the truth in ourselves. It will not become a first-hand discovery. It is not a knowledge which has to be acquired by your intelligence. That can be the first step. But by repeatedly interacting with this knowledge of the soul, knowledge of Brahman, and knowledge of truth, what is happening is our mind is undergoing a transformation. By interacting with the concept of the soul repeatedly, the mind is developing the soul characteristics. So the mind is becoming more and more like the soul, whatever we have described, whatever the Shastras have discussed. So the whole process is to transform the mind, metamorphosize the mind and make it like the soul. Then it becomes a realized knowledge. Otherwise it will remain a second-hand knowledge from the Shastras or from the Guru or from the teachers, whatever we have heard, whatever we have read. It will remain a second-hand knowledge. So our sadhana always should be to have this first-hand knowledge. For that we have to transform our whole life. There is no other way. Let us understand that. The simple intellectual understanding will not do. So after saying that there are two kinds of vidya and both have to be learned, and this is what it is, even the Upanishads and all, they are also inferior knowledge, then what is the superior knowledge, supreme knowledge? He says, athapara yaya tadaksharam adhigamyate. Adhigamyate means attained. What is attained? Aksharam adhigamyate. Akshara means changeful, decaying. Akshara means what is not changeful, never changes, which is permanent. So when that permanent is attained, only that it will be called the Paravidya. Sometimes our Upanishads are called Paravidya, but that is only as the picture of a fire. Seeing the picture of a fire also we say it is a fire. Until it becomes a living knowledge, it will not relieve us of our sufferings, of our grief. So in the first mantra after that, he has, just like other Shastras also, he has expressed the truth. After the two divisions, Atha Para, Yaya Tadaksharamadigamyate, then comes the sixth. I will split it, otherwise the words are big. Yat tadadreshyam agrahyam agotram achakshushrotram tadapanipadam nityam vibhum sarvagatam susukshmam tadavyayam yad bhutayonim paripashyanti dhiraha. This one mantra, in a nutshell, he has spoken all that is to be known. That it is the concept of the truth is given in one verse. And later on, all others are elaboration on it. He says, Yat tad adreshyam, agrahyam, agotram, avarnam. These are very precise, brief description. Adreshyam means which cannot be seen. Which cannot be seen. Now when we are saying it which cannot be seen means which cannot be touched, which cannot be smelled, which cannot be heard, all the five sense organs. That means which cannot be perceived by the five sense organs. If you see Vishnu Bhagavan standing in front with your eyes, it is not the real Vishnu Bhagavan. The real Vishnu Bhagavan cannot be seen, cannot be touched, cannot be heard, cannot be smelled. So just by one word they are expressing that. Adreshyam means it cannot be perceived by any of the sense organs. Agrahyam, that means which cannot be held either by hand or by feet, by any of our karmendriyas, our senses of actions, whatever we, the actional organs. With that it cannot be held. And these two are the major properties of the objects, is it not so? So it is called Vastu Guna Varjita. Vastu Guna Varjita means it does not have any of the properties of the objects. Object can either be perceived by one of the five senses or can be acted upon by our karmendriyas or organs of actions. Nothing like that. So this truth or the soul or the Brahman cannot be, it has none of the Vastu Gunas, it is free, it is transcending all the properties, parameters of the objects. Agotram means, Gotra we refer to our lineage, that means the origin. What does it mean? It is causality, which is caused by something. Agotram means it is uncausal, it is not caused by anything. So again it is, that also again specifies it is free of all the properties of an object, because all the objective truth you can refer to the causality. Only at the end point you cannot find any other causality. It will become a cycle there. Because from this is caused, B is caused by A is caused by B, B is caused by C, like that you can go. At the end point if you ask what is causing Z, you cannot have a reply. But as long as the material universe is concerned, everything is related by causality. Avarnam. Varna means what? Varna means color. Color means by which we distinguish one from the other. Without the color we will not be able to distinguish. So it is actually a distinguishing mark or decipherable quality. The objects can be distinguished only by such decipherable marks. It is not really color always. Suppose there are two glasses of different refractive index. Refractive index means the density of the glass. If you place them side by side, you can understand the difference because of the different refraction of the rays. They are same color, both are colorless, but you will be able to understand. But that is also a distinguishing mark. So here so much of detail is not necessary. It does not have any of the objective distinguishing marks. Now this first line here is referring in all is Vastu Guna Varjita. That's all. If we remember one word, that Vastu Guna Varjita means it does not have any of the properties of the objects, the normal properties of the objects. The second line it says that it does not have any kartritva bhoktritva. That means objects are done with. Now we are thinking about we who are seeing the objects and interacting with the objects. Those properties are not there. It neither have kartritva nor has bhoktritva. This is the second line. He says, Achakshushotram tad apanipadam. Achakshushotram means it does not have eyes, it does not have ears. That means any of the sense organs also it does not have. With the sense organs we enjoy the world, we perceive the world. So if we don't have the sense organs, there is no enjoying the world at all. So there is no bhoktritva. Apanipadam, he does not have the senses of the organs of action, neither hands nor legs. That means he cannot do also anything. That means akartritva. That is, we think we are karta, we are bhokta. This is the basic misunderstanding we suffer from. What they are trying to induce in our mind, that we are neither karta nor bhokta. If we can understand that, then we become almost close to our real identity. We become immediately dispassionate. We become impersonal. This our kartritva and bhoktritva are the main troubles with us. I have done this, I have done that. Either if you have done something good, we feel egoistic about it. If you have done something wrong, we feel sinful about it. Because we feel I have done. And also I have to do. I have to make this, I have to look after my grandchildren because the children are always working. Otherwise they will not grow. Everybody has looked after their children. Why are you in this generation, you are incorporating the grandchildren also have to be looked after, and for that you will not pursue your spiritual goal. So that kartritva is binding us everywhere, that I have to do and I have done all those things. So achakshu shrotram tadapanipadam means it is free of, it is transcending all the kartritva and bhoktritva. Then comes the universal qualities, objective qualities. What is that? Nityam, vibhum, sarvagatam, susukshmam, tadavyayam yad bhuta yonim paripashyanti dhiraha. Nityam means what? That means transcending time. It is just not always present. When time was not there, then also when time was not there is a wrong statement. Then also it was there. It is a wrong statement, but we have to understand in that manner. Because the concept of time is in our mind. That is in our consciousness. The time is in the consciousness. So how can you limit the consciousness by time? So only we have to, that is how this verse is trying to make us, give us an idea of the transcendental truth. This is how they are going. We have to ruminate and go to that transcendental level. Then only our mind will attain that. So nityam means it is transcending time. We should not try to limit it. When we say that it is the most ancient, it is only to give us an idea that it was there when the creation had started. But truly speaking, if you want to have an idea of it, it is transcending time. Vibhum means which is all the forms which have been created is out of it. That means which encompasses all forms. How can it encompass all form if it has a particular form? That means it transcends forms also. So whatever forms of God vision we have, that part is illusory. That is incorporated by my mind. If I am a devotee of Shiva, I will see Shiva. If I am a devotee of Durga, I will see Durga. That form of Durga and form of Shiva is instituted by my mind. What I am experiencing is the same consciousness the soul is. According to my mindset, I am superposing a deity over there. All this they will speak later on also. And verse after verse they will try to demolish our constricted ideas. So Vibhum means transcending all forms. Then Sarvagatam. What does it mean? All pervading. All pervading means what? Everywhere it is there. That will not give you the idea of transcendentalness. Actually, space is also a concept of the consciousness. It is formed in the consciousness. This all we are speaking about, the entire universe, it is appearing in the consciousness. So consciousness is transcending the universe also. The universe is only an appearance in the consciousness. So here this sarvagatam means not that all are there and it is permeating in the material sense. Like space, it is permeating everywhere. No, it is beyond space also. The space itself is a concept in it. So it is transcending time, transcending space, transcending forms. Susukshmam, it is the subtler than the subtlest. When we say subtle, we again have an objective vision in us that water is subtler than the wood, air is subtler than water, the electricity is still subtler than air, space is subtler than electricity. These we are comparative knowledge. We are comparing one objective truth with another object, one object with other object. But susukshmam, they are saying it is transcending all the concepts of subtlety and gross, because even the gross is appearing in this and the subtle is also appearing in this. Consciousness is the source of gross as well as subtle. So it is transcending even the comparative idea of subtlety and grossness. It is transcendental, that is the idea. So these are the characteristics we have to repeatedly ruminate on to get an idea of what is our own real identity, our own soul. What is the Brahman, what is the Atma, Paramatma, and which is our real identity. Now here he is saying, Tad avyayam yad bhuta yonim paripashyanti dhiraha. He has suddenly brought in the dhiraha because Shaunaka wanted to know how everything will become known. By knowing what, everything will become known. So he has brought in the dhiraha, who are the knowers, or the wise people. The wise people see this, what he is saying. What does it mean? Shaunaka, if you want to have your reply, you also have to see this. Paripashyanti means everywhere. Pari means all around. It is not that here they are seeing and here they are not seeing. Everywhere it is the same thing they are seeing. And what is the kind of this? It is this. And that vision is not a vision by the subject of the object. It is not that kind also. You cannot reach transcendence in that manner. When the subject and object both get fused, and you transcend both subject and object, you get at the truth. They will discuss it in greater detail. But that is the tad avyayam yad bhuta yonim paripashyanti dhiraha. What do the dhiras see? They see the bhuta yonim. Bhuta yonim means from where the entire objective universe has come up. The source of the entire objective universe. That is the bhuta yonim. But strangely, that is tad avyayam. Do we know of any material source which will produce anything without undergoing a change? When the sun gave rise to the earth, if it had given rise, by that the sun's material got reduced. The earth was produced. If you burn the table, there will be ash, but the table will no more be there. If you convert hydrogen into helium, you will get the radiation, but the hydrogen will get converted into helium. The original matter will never remain the same. In any causal transformation, causal srishti, causal creation or material creation, the cause will always undergo a change. The cause will become the effect will be had, the cause will be lost, partly or fully. Do you agree to that? So here it is extremely important. He says, Tad avyayam yad bhuta yonim. The source of the entire universe is not material source. Then that also would have been included in the universe. So when we are trying to go to the ultimate reality, we have to understand that you cannot have it by causality, by the material transformation. The whole universe has not come out of material creation. It is just appearing in that consciousness. And by that appearance, the consciousness does not undergo any change at all. If it had got changed, then there was no question of our self-realization. Because the self has become like this. If it becomes small and constricted like this, how could we ever realize the self as unchanging? Because it remains unchanging, there is the scope for attaining that or knowing that. So this verse is extremely important, that is why again I came back to it, repeated it. The whole truth is spoken of here. This non-material srishti in our shastras, it is called vivartavada. The other srishti which we see in the world is called parinama srishti. That means parinama means the cause gets changed into the effect. The cause is no longer available to you. Whereas in vivarta, the cause does not change at all. It remains where it is. Suppose you see the mirage, you see the water, you see the movement and all. But it is not a change in the air or nothing is there. When you go, it is not there at all. The cause does not change. Our general example given is Rajju Sarpa, very common everywhere. That when you are seeing the snake in the rope, has the rope got transformed into anything? It has not got transformed into. It remains the rope. And when you understand it, the rope becomes the rope. As if it is by a magic, something happened, I was seeing the snake. The universe also is like that. It is appearing in the consciousness, but by that the consciousness is not undergoing any change at all. Why are we finding it difficult to understand? Because when we speak of consciousness, again you think of something material that one day we will discover the consciousness. People often ask, almost always ask, that will not science one day discover the consciousness? Consciousness is not anything objective which you can discover as an object. Consciousness is what I am, that revealer in us. So if you find something as consciousness, that is not the revealer, that is the revealed. Am I clear? That is how people find it very difficult to realize the self because of this. Because they want the self to appear before them. It will never appear. Then if it appears, it is not the self. If you one day suddenly discover the self has appeared with two horns and all, it is not the self. It is again an object before you. The self will never appear as an object before us. But in meditation, what we try to find is that I want to see the self. Because we are habituated only with the objective interactions. Right from childhood, we are interacting with the object. So when we want to discover ourselves also, we want to see it different from ourselves. See the contradiction. How can the self become different from ourselves? Myself. So the consciousness is never object. Although we are talking about these parameters, these, that and all, only to get an inkling how different it is, how transcendental it is. But in all these thoughts, as long as the consciousness, we think that it is like this, it is like that, a concept before you. It is not. It is not a concept. That is why it is said that it is beyond the mind. Although with the mind we are trying to approach it. But finally it is transcending the mind, transcending the intelligence. It will never appear as a concept. That is why every morning we are chanting Yan Neti Neti Vachanair Nigama Bochuhu, about which the Vedas have spoken of as Na Iti Na Iti. Na Iti means it is this. Whatever you give, you will say, no, not this, not this, not this. But the moment you say it is this, it becomes a concept before you. An objective concept before you. So if the truth comes before you as an object, then it is not the truth. Am I clear? It is all becoming too abstract. So this is the truth. This is what will be elaborated, shlokas after shlokas, because the real good verses, they come a little after the half of it. So maybe I will go fast just reading out some of the shlokas, which all can be interpreted, and when the shlokas we do not like, when we go into it, we find that they also take on very good meaning. Yat tadadreshyam agrahyam agotramavarnam achakshushrotram tadapanipadam Nityam vibhum sarvagatam susukshmam tadavyayam yadbhutayonim paripashyanti dhiraha. See, this Bhuta Yonim, the Dhiras are not seeing in the Big Bang happened billions, trillions of years ago, somewhere there. Paripashyanti, everywhere, because it is in the consciousness. The Yoni itself is the consciousness. It is appearing in that. It is not that from one source it started coming. That is in the material sense it is true. The materials are coming, they are all causal. They are all in the causal chain. But the ultimate truth from where the whole universe also is appearing to be is the consciousness, where you cannot determine any space. It is transcending space. Space is in the consciousness, time is in the consciousness, mind is in the consciousness.